Hi, we're in the OC Food Diva test kitchen again, trying out Pereg food products. They make a line of flours, different kind of flours, gluten-free, vegetarian flours. This one happens to be the Farro multi-purpose flour. We're going to do a mini Farro caprese pizzas with this. And I've got the ingredients for it. So we've got honey, we've got crushed red peppers, salt and pepper, we've got yeast, we've got fresh mozzarella, so it's the soft mozzarella where you can slice it up and put it on top of pizzas. And then we've got fresh produce from Melissa's, we've got fresh basil herb leaves, and then we've got tomatoes on the vine, and then Paso Olivo extra virgin olive oil. So we're going to start with the dough. It's going to take some time to, combine and get the yeast to activate, and then we'll start rolling it out and make some pizzas. Okay, we're going to start on the dough. So notice that this package doesn't quite have enough for the recipe. We need 2.5 to 3 cups of the flour. So this is not gluten-free flour, so I'm going to go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of just multi-purpose flour, just to make sure I get the right amount of dry ingredients in there. 1/4 cup of flour, yeast. Honey helps the yeast feed and grow. It needs that sugar. And then we've got warm water has to be between 110 and 120 degrees. Hot enough or warm enough to make the yeast happy, but not hot enough to kill it. So, go ahead and put that in now. I'm not sure if this was enough water, because it's pretty dry. So I'm going to let it rest for 10 minutes like the package directions. See what it does, because we need to add more water. So we'll see if it does the trick. Notice that it was very dry, and I misread the recipe. So it was supposed to be 1 cup of Farro flour, but it also doesn't mention about the other, 2.5 cups to 3 or 2.5 cups of flour that's supposed to be used in the recipe. So I'm going to go ahead since I've already combined all this stuff, is add the rest of the water that it asks in the next step. So it's 1.5 cups of warm water. And it's starting to look a little better. It's actually combining. So we'll be able to see the foaming action now, because we've got more liquid in here. It actually looks like, I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like oatmeal. So we'll see how it looks in about 10 minutes. Okay, while the dough is getting foamy, we're going to go ahead and prep the tomatoes and slice them up, and mozzarella, and then the basil. So start with tomatoes. Creamy. The recipe actually calls for chopping or slicing up the basil. I think basil leaves are prettier on the pizza whole. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick some leaves off. We got all of our Italian flag right here going. Okay, so we let the dough rest for 10 minutes, and it's gotten foamy. It doesn't quite look like oatmeal anymore. You can see the yeast is working. There's a lot of bubbles in here. But it is still a little liquidy to knead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of flour and mix it up and see how it gets. But first I'm going to add the olive oil. make dough, it's usually done with like a hook, and you get that ball forming in the middle. We're not getting that yet, so I'm going to add one more quarter cup. I think it's almost there. I'm going to let it sit for another 5 minutes to just make sure before, I don't want to add too much flour. Okay, so the dough has gotten to kind of the thickness we want it, or stickiness we want it to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the salt and then stir it in, and then we're going to get our work surface ready for the kneading process. And then we can, since we need to flour the surface, we're going to be adding more flour, so it'll help get this into more of a ball consistency. Flour on the surface. You can see it's really sticky. I'm just going to work it in. We're going to go ahead and let this rest for 10 minutes, and we'll come back and start rolling it out. So we let the dough rest for 10 minutes under some plastic wrap. So now I'm going to split it. The recipe's for 4 small pizzas, so what we're going to do is we're just going to make 2 because it's just 2 of us. I'm just going to split this in half, roll out one of them, cook it, and then we'll cook another one later. Just going to kind of make it into a ball so it's easier to roll out into a nice circle. Cornmeal is to act like a kind of like little roller balls, so that you can slide the pizza onto the pizza stone inside the oven. Perfect. Okay, we're going to go ahead and top the farro dough with the cheese and tomatoes. What we're going to do is going to put this in for 5 minutes, and then the 5-minute mark we're going to add some basil, and then we'll finish cooking. Okay, so since we split the dough in half and we made 2 pizzas instead of 4, the pizza actually took almost 25 minutes to bake, and then I had to take the basil off because it started to burn. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it out and put some fresh basil on so you have the nice vibrant color, and then we'll go ahead and cut it up. Our beautiful pizza. The mozzarella got a little bit of brown, but it's okay. So there's our farro dough caprese pizza.